Welcome back to r/neighbors from hell, where people share stories about their crazy neighbors, and if you are new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe to join our amazing community, and without any further ado, let's dive right into the stories. And the first one is titled, Few Questions, Just Bought a House in a Non-Mandatory HOA Without Signing a Contract in Florida. Long story short, I bought a house in an HOA in a gated community, a freestanding single-family residence. The property was purchased through a foreclosure auction, knowing it had a property tax lien on it as well and the dollar amount. I had to buy the tax lien from a speculator that bought the lien at auction. He told me he was waiting on some arbitrary time frame in order to be able to force a sale on the lien. Regardless, the sale is final and all liens have been cleared. The previous owner was in the HOA prior to his death. Regardless of the situation, I own the property free of clear of any and all liens. I did not purchase the house through normal channels. For example, the dead guy never signed anything in the HOA documents transferring ownership. I also never agreed to follow the CCRs when I purchased the house. Because I did not buy the house from the former owner, just the government. And by the way, Ripe Stars, I'm not exactly sure what government is, but maybe it means government? If you know more, please let me know in the comments. Anyway, however, every time, like literally every single time, I head out to the property to do any work on it, in it, or around it, I get hounded by one or more or four or so busybodies who keep trying to get me to sign the contract. They keep telling me it is mandatory and I keep telling them, I'm going to have my attorney look at them and I'll get back to you. They also point out that the HOA had right of first refusal in selling the home and I shouldn't have been able to buy it without first signing the contract. Well, I did, so screw them. Everything I can find says that the HOA is voluntary/non-mandatory and I've never signed anything. Well, one of my questions is that while the house used to be in the HOA, I don't know if it is grandfathered in because it was in the HOA already. Or is it not in the HOA because I haven't signed yet? Or is the mere act of buying the house legally put me in the HOA even if I have not signed anything? Supposedly, the voluntary HOA is 100% minus me of the neighborhood and they have a contract giving rights of first refusal on any resale of the property. Good luck enforcing that on a tax/mortgage auction with a dead guy. They also required anyone who bought a house to sign the contract with the HOA before the builder would sell. And one of the things in the HOA contract is that the HOA has the right of first refusal on any sales. So, am I in a legal gray area in a very tightly controlled voluntary HOA, or is there something sketchy going on with the way they have it set up? I also have yet to receive a gate access key. I've had luck just tailgating other cars in through the gate. I also don't have a street parking sticker, nor do I have any way to request guest parking passes or any of that crap that the paperwork talks about. Or do I stand to have an issue over the right of first refusal crap? I know, don't sign is the correct answer, but what sort of troubles am I going to be in over this BS? PS, if I can really get away with not joining, I'm going to park the biggest, most Mad Maxian truck in the front yard in the grass and paint it neon orange and purple stripes and build a 20-foot pirate ship in the backyard, complete with crow's nest. And yeah, Ripe Stars, I really hope this pans out well for OP, because we will also read the updates to the story. However, sometimes it feels like if you join the HOA, it seems like kind of a lifetime membership or something that continues even if you die. The Netflix drama subscription that nobody wanted. And the next one is an update to the first one, and it is titled, I beat the HOA, I won't be forced to join. Go lawyers. So earlier this month I purchased a property in real estate lien auction. The property was in a voluntary HOA that had 100% membership. My attorney looked into the situation and drafted a proposal and sent it to the HOA via registered mail. He drafted up a proposal agreement with the HOA with the following conditions. Number 1. The property owner has unrestricted access to any community-owned roadways, gates, etc. necessary to access his property. Number 2, this does not constitute joining the HOA. Number 3, the property owner will pay a figure monthly to the HOA to contribute to the non-government owned infrastructure at his discretion. The amount is non-negotiable and not legally required, merely an acknowledgement that the assets exist and have costs for their upkeep. Number 4, the property owner will not be held to any HOA standards. Number 5, the property owner does not and will not get any voting rights in the HOA. Number 6, any further attempts to get the property owner to join will be considered harassment. Number 7, cashing of the attached checks constitutes agreeing to these terms. Number 8, the HOA will provide any necessary access codes for the property owner to use for visitors, contractors, etc. They received it and signed for it. That day, the harassment from the HOA stopped. A week later, their attorney sent back a response. OP. The HOA board has met, they don't appreciate your unneighborly attitude and are not agreeing to your terms. However, they acknowledge that your claim to unrestricted access to your property may have legal merit if the issue is taken to court. I've been instructed to give you a gate access code attached below. You will not be given a key fob to the gate as it would give you unrestricted access to their clubhouse. Furthermore, they are notifying you of the following: the roadway and sidewalk are both HOA property and they reserve the right to remove any illegally parked vehicles or other property. This is, however, a legal acknowledgement that you will not be held to their community standards. They are also requesting some leeway regarding harassment as community notices may inadvertently be delivered. Finally, they are returning the check uncashed. Signed, the HOA attorney. I'm not quite understanding how this does not constitute them agreeing to my terms though. They are giving me everything I want and are turning down my gift towards the upkeep of the road and gate. And yeah, ripe stars, as it turns out, and as I always say, if you get a good lawyer, then the HOA most likely will hide their tail between their legs. They are absolute cowards. Anyway, there's one more update to the story. However, before we read that, I would really appreciate it if you could post some star emojis in the comments if you want to support my channel. Thank you so much in advance. Your help is very much appreciated. And the next one is another update to the story, and it is titled FHOA, Getting Harassed by HOA I Am Not a Part of and Have Refused to Join. So, I purchased my property in a quasi-non-voluntary HOA enforced sale. I cleared the liens which were disclosed prior to my purchase and have been fixing up the property. I am currently living in an RV I have parked in the front yard. I have it up on concrete blocks. Totally in violation of the HOA, but I am not a member. The interior of the house is not livable, pretty bad hoarding situation, and I have a standing order with the trash company to have a 10-yard bin that gets swapped out every Friday. I predict another 2 to 3 months until that service can be cancelled. The dumpster every week is on top of bags of clothing that goes to Goodwill and all the crap I put up on Craigslist and eBay for sale. Plus, I have enough shampoo and conditioner to keep my hair silky smooth and smelling of springtime for the next 50 years. The HOA has been harassing me to join. I thought we settled the argument, but screw them. They also attempted to have my RV towed off my front yard. Fortunately, I had already made efforts to prevent it from being towed. Namely, I called the towing company the HOA had a contract with and my lawyer explained the situation. They also started sending me fines in the mail and I am adding them to the harassments file. Not being dumb enough to be sued, the towing company agreed that they would not tow any vehicle from any space that could be defined as 123 Oak Street without my direct authorization, including but not limited to the driveway, garage, front yard or street in front of 123 Oak Street. We also saw a way for them to profit from the situation. This is my pro-revenge on them. We have a standing deal that they can drive the tow truck to my house and then they knock on my door and ask if I called the tow. If I say no, they charge the HOA for wasting their time, and if I don't answer, they can still charge the HOA for wasting their time. The towing company hit them for about $500 before they caught on to the deal they made with me. Some good news, I have successfully gotten into the bathroom and cleaned out all the children's clothing and decades-old pizza boxes and bags of onion peels, so after a great deal of elbow grease, I might actually be able to shower in my house soon. And the next one is titled Court Compliance. The setting, United States, northern neck of Virginia. The situation, I bought land and built a house on it. Back when my wife and I were much more newlywed than we are now, we hired ourselves an architect and went whole hog on having our cozy little dream home designed. While this was being done, we went shopping around for a parcel of land on which to have it built, which went quickly and easily, and we even got a pretty nice deal on a half-acre lot that was just far enough back in the sticks for us to be happy, but close enough to our jobs that it was not much of a commute. Best part of all, no homeowners association. There weren't any active HOAs back in that area because, point blank, it was full of poor people back there. Dirt poor country types and working poor wage slave types. We made very sure with our lawyer that no previous owner had ever had the title amended to allow for any HOA nonsense as well, because that is a thing some real estate developers like to do. They will buy up a property, get the title amended to force the membership of that property into a local HOA that they will usually operate or are in cahoots with those that do, and then resell it with that as a new requirement for any prospective buyer to automatically agree to when they sign the title. Flash forward to August of 2019, the virus was just around the corner, but nobody knew that yet. Everything was that which passes for normal out in those parts, and my wife and I had since moved to a different location, but retained that property as one of our various rentals. It was our dream home for several years and we loved that place. Moving was tough, it was a good neighborhood out there, and folks were very welcoming. Then a company that is totally not named Ryan Homes or anything even slightly similar came in and spent some years buying everything up back there that got the market and pressuring folks into selling, which worked out for them only too well. And of course, they gentrified everything. For 3 years and some change, there was massive amounts of the old being torn down and hauled out and the new being built up and sold. The HOA was built right in because of course it was. Folks with money enough to throw down on crappy built houses that looked nice from the front moved in one by one, and 2 by 2, property values in the area skyrocketed, property taxes skyrocketed right along with them, and more of the less poor people were forced to sell because they got taxed out of their own homes. My wife and I knew what was coming from the get-go. We knew those dinguses from totally not Ryan Homes were going to come sniffing around our way, not to try to buy us out, but to see if they could finagle, schmooze or threaten us into joining the HOA they were installing. It was inevitable, lots of information is public record, they knew we had money. They knew we were living below our means by 2 orders of magnitude. They knew we clearly meant to be exactly where we were because we sure didn't have to be. They knew they didn't have a snowflake's hope in hell of pricing us out on taxes, so they tried nagging us to death and coming right up to the line on harassment, always to talk to us about joining the HOA. They failed. They got told by one expensive lawyer to find something else to do before we all got super busy helping them find things to worry about, and so they desisted for some years. Then my wife and I moved and got the property set up as a rental. Absolutely not Ryan Homes starts bothering our tenants there, both trying to get them to pressure us into putting the property into the HOA, as well as getting our tenants riled up with the most outrageous lies about what could happen if we, the owners, don't protect our renters better. My wife and I were livid after hearing about this crap, and so we got a hold of Definitely Not Ryan Homes to let them know that this was our formal request, that they stop bothering our tenants and that all further communications would be from our really expensive lawyer. They must have assumed we were bluffing, or maybe whoever was in charge of thinking that day did not show up for work because they just kept right on with their nonsense. It got so bad that they were even sending fake but convincing looking envelopes with eviction notice that, upon being opened, said "could be what you find in your mailbox one day without our wondrous HOA," and containing information about the benefits of the HOA. We gathered it all up and got the tenants to talk to our lawyer and got the police involved to get the ball rolling on a harassment investigation. Another formal request to cease and desist was sent to Never Ryan Homes by the very expensive lawyer, which they utterly ignored. I think their guy that is supposed to come to work and think about things quit a long time ago. Maybe he never told anyone, maybe nobody noticed. Whatever the situation on their end, when my lawyer talked to their lawyer told my lawyer that their client was doing everything legally and that if we wanted to pursue the matter in court, that was what we would have to do. So we did. I'm not sure what kind of lawyer magic my lawyer and his fellow legal demons worked on this front, but we were in court for 1 single hour when my lawyer and their 4 lawyers and the judge had a private talk after the preliminary hearing. Half hour later and the lawyers from Maybe Ryan Homes come back into the courtroom looking like a quartet of cats that had been pissed on. My lawyer takes a seat beside me and says they are going to settle. And I was like, I didn't think we were that far along into this yet. What happened? And he said, they built 51 homes in county of concern over 2 years. Every single one of them was inspected before close of sale by a real estate agent that never actually got around to getting her home inspector license. And that is how Was It Ryan Homes the whole time paid me 10 grand to not sue them while they got bent over by the county and the state. Yo guys, and unfortunately we have reached the end of the video, but that's not too bad because that means you get to see more of Disney, our new Ripestar community friend. As you can see, she's wearing the sunflower, and the vet basically said the previous owner gave her like a shower where I think water came into her ear or something, and that also contributed to her getting an ear infection or something. And because of that infection now, we are giving her medicine and we clean her ears daily. And I think that should be fine again soon. So yeah, and she's wearing that so she does not constantly lick her paws. Because I think because of the ear infection, she tried to lick her paws and then tried to scratch the ear or clean the ear or something. But the vet recommended that we should put that on her so she does not do that too much. Oh, she's just so cute, no? But yeah, please let me know in the comments if you like the video footage at the end of the video. I think it's the video footage of the cat. I think it's very cute. And either way, thank you so much for watching. And after this, we will have the Patreon shout out and then the video is over. So thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you again tomorrow. And Ripe Stars, with this we have reached the end of the video. However, if you still cannot get enough of my content, then I would highly suggest to check out my endless binge watch playlist, which will soon show up in the left corner of the screen. In addition, I would really appreciate it if you could not only subscribe to the channel, but also turn on the bell notifications, which you can do by clicking on the little bell icon right next to the subscribe button. This will help my channel tremendously and this will make sure that you don't miss any of my videos. Furthermore, if you want to see additional Ripe content that I don't post on YouTube, then I would suggest to head on over to patreon.com/ripeyoutube for more than 50 exclusive videos that you will not see anywhere else. Thank you so much for your amazing daily support and I hope to see you again tomorrow.